How you doing? Welcome back. This is our second video this week for support on Khan Academy. Specifically, we're going to be looking at how to plot inequalities onto a number line. So this is going to be the reverse of the first assignment. It's going to have us get an inequality written out and then build a number line or plot that on a number line to plot the inequality. Very quickly, before we open the assignment, I'm going to review quickly our example from the first lesson. Very simply, if you see this symbol, this is the greater than symbol. It opens up, x is greater than 5, and if I want to represent x is greater than 5 on a number line, I'm going to go to the 5. I'm going to put an open dot there because anytime it's just greater than, I'm going to use the open dot to mean it can't include the 5, but it needs to be anything larger than the 5. So I draw an arrow to the right showing any number that's greater than 5 could be x's value. That's how I plot x is greater than 5 as an inequality on this number line. Quick review too, if it's less than or equal to, anytime we have the or equal to piece, we need a closed dot to say it could also equal 3 or be anything less than 3. So on this number line we see the closed dot above the 3, and then the arrow moving towards the left shows us y could be anything less than 3, or it could also be equal to 3. It just can't be larger than 3. So we're going to take a look at a few of the examples now. Give me just 1 second. Alright. Now, we'll reduce the size of the whiteboard, take a look at a few of the Khan Academy examples here. And I'm actually going to get rid of the whiteboard entirely because I don't think we need that right now. Okay, for this first example, let me zoom in just a little bit. They tell us to graph x is greater than or equal to -2. So our job here is to interact with this number line digitally. I need x to be greater than or equal to -2. So here I'm going to find -2 on the number line. It's right there. I'm going to click there and it moves the green dot to that -2. Now I want the x to be greater than or equal to -2. If I hit the switch direction button, it switches the direction of the blue arrow. I want this to be greater than -2, so I'm going to have the arrow going to the right. Here I can make the circle open or closed. If I make this circle open and I check my answer, I'm going to find that I get it wrong. If I hit get help, that could help me realize as I go into their step the inequality includes -2 because the symbol greater than or equal to means greater than or equal to. So let's start by plotting a filled circle at -2. And so I see the big key, my mistake, as I circle back up here. I didn't have a filled circle. If I had a filled circle, that would include the greater than or equal to piece that I needed. And now I've got that question correct. Moving on to the next question. So now, this time, they tell me to graph x is greater than -4. So I'm going to find the -4. I don't need to switch the direction. It's already moving to the right. That's correct for greater than. But because it says greater than, now I'm remembering my mistake from last time. I need to make the circle open. And the open circle means it cannot include the -4. It just needs things that are greater than -4. And take a look at the third example here. I would encourage you to pause and think for a second, what would you do to graph this inequality? It says graph x is less than or equal to -1. So think before I show you, what would you do to graph this? And again, hopefully you were recognizing I need to click the green dot to -1 because that's the reference point for this inequality. And x needs to be less than -1, so I'm going to switch the direction of the arrow to point to the left. It could be equal to or less than -1, so I'm not going to make the circle open. I'm going to leave that circle filled because it could also be equal to -1. There's my correct answer. We'll see one more example. This example tells us x needs to be less than 0. So if x needs to be less than 0, I'm going to take this green dot, click on 0 to move the green dot over to 0. I'm going to switch the direction because I need it to be less than, moving towards the left on the number line. And I also need to make this circle open because it does not include the value 0, only numbers that are less than 0. That gets you to the end of the video. As always, I would encourage you to watch Sal Khan's videos and use the Get Help feature if you're struggling a bit when you practice this on your own. You can always email me as well, and I'm happy to give you some help on Google Meet. Thanks for watching to the end of the video. Keep up the great work.